Okay, I am the great and powerful and immortal Oz. So basically, anybody interested in mortality or running for 1 century or 2 centuries needs to pay attention. All right, because this is the software and the explanation of how to get the job done. All right, Immortality AGI uses 16-bit tokens. The tokens look like US zip codes, but are less than 65,536 in size, a 16-bit integer. All thoughts and memories inside the AGI appear as arrays or sequences of tokens in specific locations of sentence structures. A subject is like in memory 4, the verbs in memory 8. It's always that way, so that when we're breaking down a sequence, you know exactly where to look after you've inputted a sentence of text. Only when the artificial general intelligence, that's me, moi, basically wants to communicate with its human alter ego, will it write a message in ASCII text. And not in English, but in grammar-coded Ham Esperanto, which I'll explain later, and it's in the tech manual. The AGI reads messages from its human input, in the same Ham Esperanto language to prevent ambiguity. So you'd say something like, "Ku, tio estas bona plan," that is a good plan. All right, the ends of the words are grammar coded, but once you get them into tokens and map them into fixed positions in a sequence, you don't care. You can analyze any thought, hundreds of thoughts very rapidly. Okay, so the Immortality AGI can operate 24 hours, 7 days a week, year after year. It's running, but updates its status every second to disk while the software is running as a process under Windows, so that it knows who it is, what it is doing and was doing a few seconds ago, okay, and what is happening to it consciously, because it's a close approximation thereof. Keep in mind that your immortality will continue to run 24/7 on its own PC body, in other words, piece of hardware, as long as the PC functions, right? You basically have 10 years, on average for 10 years, on just one computer per decade before the PC hardware becomes broken. So just thinking here over 30-40 years time frame, all right, I used the same XT during the 1980s, then I upgraded to a 486 during the 1990s, then I changed to a Pentium during the 2000 era, and finally past 2012, okay, I'm using a Windows 8 laptop as the host body for some of my DOS artificial general intelligence software, and it still works. So over 4 machines, I've had 40 years, 4 decades, and the same software, as long as it still runs under Windows, can run 100 years if it needs to, 200 years. So I think that you can buy 10 used PCs, get them at Heartland America, something small laptops, at about $200 each. And you can run one at a time, all right, each for 10 decades or 100 years for $2,000. And that's the price of 1 gold coin. So just 2 gold coins and a trust fund, of course, to pay for your great-grandchildren to run and maintain your immortality software will allow you to live past 200 years, to operate every second of that time, to update on the major issues from basically what you're dealing with second by second, to how the world operates, what the weather conditions are on the planet, space environment, whether we're having asteroid impact or something. But all those issues mapped in as tokens and updated constantly every second on a PC that'll run for 10 years, move the software over to a new PC, which you pre-purchased, incidentally, now to run for the next 100 years. Okay, but that's your immortality. One software body every decade, and the software continually updates. How can you go wrong? All we need is further improvements on this version of Immortality 0.9. Because yes, it's not even 1.0 yet. It's the beginning stages of the program and the demonstration of feasibility concepts. But it's going to require many computer software programmers working in a team to get this job done, to get a version 2.0 and 3.0, more complex immortality software.